Hello, students, viewers, how are you all? I hope so. You all are doing well. Welcome to English class of Kashif sir. It is part 5 of Act 1, Scene 2, The Tempest by William Shakespeare. And I hope so. Whatever you have studied in part 4, you all have comprehended it well. So today we will be moving on to this act once again, and we will comprehend rest of the story of this act. So without wasting more time, let's get started our class. As you can see on the screen, we will be starting with line of Ariel. Yes, Caliban, her son. But before this, what was happening, I'm sure you all are aware of it. But even then, I would like to let you know that what exactly happened just before the line of Ariel. So Ariel demanded his freedom from Prospero. So Ariel actually thought that his work is entirely done. Prospero is not in need of Ariel. But it is not like that. When Ariel demanded his freedom from Prospero, then Prospero started reminding Ariel of the past when Ariel was locked up in a pine tree by the witch Sycorax. So at the time, Ariel was a slave of Sycorax, and Ariel was too delicate to carry out the order instructions of the witch Sycorax. Then, in anger and rage, Sycorax locked up Ariel in a pine tree, and then after Sycorax did not undo his magic. Why? Because she died at the time. And then Prospero was passing through that particular spot, and Prospero heard cries, groans of Ariel. And then Prospero, with his magic, freed Ariel from the pine tree. And this was the favor which was done by Prospero for Ariel. And Ariel seems to be forgotten all that, right? So that's why here Prospero is reminding Ariel of the past when Prospero freed him. So Prospero means to say that don't forget that you are becoming moody, you are throwing tantrums. So right now I can't free you because my entire plan is not done. I had told you that when certain time, befitting time will be coming, then I will be freeing you. I will give you your freedom, but not now. And then Prospero says that Sycorax, who just enslaved you, who just locked you up in a pine tree, was banished from Algiers, and she was brought in a pregnant state on this island. So at that time, she gave birth to a freckled baby born of an old hag. And then immediately Ariel reacted and said, yes, 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 Caliban is the name of that son of hers. Then Prospero speaks, dull thing, I say so he, that Caliban, whom now I keep in service, thou best knowest what torment I did find thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl and penetrate the breasts of every angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out. So Prospero is becoming very harsh and angry on Ariel, and Prospero says, you dull headed creature, you stupid creature, this is what I am telling you. I am reminding you of that Caliban whom now I am keeping in my service. You know very well with what tormentation I found you suffering from. You used to groan so mercifully that, on hearing you, wolves used to howl, and the ever savage bears used to feel deep sympathy for you. It was torture fit to be inflicted upon those who have been cursed. Sycorax could not undo it. When I came to this island, I heard your pitiful cries, and I opened the pine tree with my magic, and thus I made you free at the time. And then Ariel speaks, I thank thee, Master. I am grateful to you, Master. I am indebted to you, my Master. And then Prospero, if thou more murmurest, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his knotty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 winters. Prospero says, if you complain any more, I will tear an oak and confine you within a twisted trunk and leave you there to groan away 12 years. So Prospero is actually threatening Ariel that if you come up with grievances and grudges, complaints once again, right? Then what I'll be doing? I will tear an oak and confine you within his twisted trunk and leave you there to groan away 12 years. Ariel, pardon, master, I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently. So here, Ariel apologizes. Ariel seeks an apology. And Ariel says, please forgive me, master. I will be obedient and do all my tasks without complaining. Prospero, do so, and after 2 days I will discharge thee. And Prospero says, yes, you have to be good like that. I will set you free in 2 days. So Prospero is man of words. Prospero is committed. So Prospero commits Ariel that if you behave in a good manner, then I will give you your freedom in 2 days. But not now. This is not the right time when you asked me your freedom, right? So you have to be good like that, and you have to be well behaved, and you have to be patient, and you have to behave in a good manner. Then I will give you your freedom in 2 days. Ariel, that's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do? Then Ariel says, that is like my good master. What shall I do? So Ariel is feeling relaxed. Before, Prospero was very angry over Ariel, and Ariel is sighing of relief. Ariel is feeling very relaxed, and Ariel says that that's like my good master. Now let me know, my master, what shall I do now? A word from you, and it will be done. Prospero, go make thyself like a nymph, O the sea, be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go take this shape, and hither come in it. Go hence with diligence. Exit Ariel. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well, awake. So Ariel says that what do you have to do? You go and disguise yourself as a sea nymph. Nymph means fairy. So Prospero says that you go and disguise yourself as a sea nymph. Be invisible to everyone except yourself and me. Go take this shape and then come back here. Hurry up and go. And then Ariel leaves. And then after, Prospero wakes up Miranda. Wake up, my dear, wake up. You have had sound sleep. Wake up now. Now Miranda is waking up. Miranda, the strangeness of your story put heaviness in me. So Miranda says that I had begun to feel sleepy after hearing your strange story. Your story was bizarre that it made me asleep. So that's why I had enough sleep. I had a sound sleep. Prospero, shake it off, come on. We will visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer. So Prospero says that you need to get out of your sleepiness. Come out of your sleepiness. Come on, we will go visit Caliban, my slave, who always talks to us so nastily. So Caliban is a evil character. Caliban is very wicked. Caliban talks very badly, awfully, nastily. So that's why here Prospero is saying that just to get out of your sleepiness, we have to go to visit Caliban, my slave who always talks to us so nastily. Miranda. And here who's speaking? Miranda is speaking. "'Tis a villain, sir. I do not love to look on." So Miranda here says, he's an evil one, father. I don't like him at all. So Miranda doesn't want to see Caliban at all. She's not happy when Prospero calls Caliban, and she says that, father, I do not like to see this creature. And why? Because he's an evil one, father. So that's why I do not like him at all. Prospero. But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What, O slave Caliban, thou art thou speak? Prospero says, but in view of the situation in which we are, we cannot do without Caliban. We cannot avoid him as he does all menial jobs. He lights the fire for us, he brings fuel wood for us, and he does other jobs too in our service and for our benefit. And then Prospero starts shouting to Caliban, hey Caliban, where are you? My servant Caliban, I am talking to you. You pile of dirt, speak out. And then Caliban speaks something within. There's wood enough within. So Caliban is actually speaking from within. Caliban is not stepping out. Caliban is not coming out. So rather, Caliban is speaking from within. Why are you calling me? Do not call me. So as I have brought enough fuel wood inside your shack. So already I have done my work. So why are you calling me again and again frequently? Prospero, come forth, I say. There is other business for thee. Come thou, tortoise, when? So Prospero says, come out, I tell you. There is some other work for you to do. Come, you lazy fellow, slow as a tortoise. How long will you keep me awaiting? So tortoise is a creature who moves very slowly. So that's why Prospero is comparing Caliban to a tortoise. So here Prospero is just talking very harshly, rudely to Caliban, and Prospero is very angry over Caliban because Caliban is not coming out. Rather, Caliban is speaking from within. So that's why it is provoking Prospero. It is making Prospero very angry. So that's why Prospero says that, come out, I tell you. There's some work for you to do. Come, you lazy fellow, slow as a tortoise. How long will you keep me waiting? Ariel re-enters disguised as a water nymph. Now who is coming? Who is re-entering? Ariel. So remember before Prospero asked Ariel to take shape of nymph and disguise yourself, and he has to be invisible except Prospero and to himself, right? So this was instruction of Prospero for Ariel. Now Ariel has done all that. Ariel is coming back. So re-enter Ariel like a water nymph. Fine apparition, my quaint Ariel, hark in thine ear. It means, Prospero says, what a fine ride, a pretty spirit. You have come at the right time, my dear clever Ariel. Listen to me attentively and carefully. Then he start whispering in the ears of Ariel. Ariel, my lord, it shall be done, and exit. So Ariel says, whatever Prospero whispers in the ears of Ariel, and then after Ariel speaks that, my master, I shall definitely carry out your instructions. I will do as you want me to do something. So, whatever you have asked me to do, it will be done. Prospero is speaking to Caliban. As wicked do, thou poisonous slave, come forth. So here Prospero is speaking to Caliban. You horrible slave, you vicious slave, with a wicked hag for a mother and the devil himself for a father, come out. You vicious slave, you horrible slave, fathered by the devil himself with your wicked mother, come here. So Prospero is abusing Caliban because he is not coming out. He is not obeying instructions of Prospero. Rather, he is contradicting. He is denying Prospero, and he is speaking from within. That's why it is infuriating Prospero. It is provoking Prospero. Prospero is at the top of his voice. So that's why Prospero is abusing Caliban, that you are a horrible slave with a wicked hag for a mother and the devil himself for a father, come out. Means you are fathered by the devil himself with your wicked mother, come out, I said. And then enter Caliban, and now Caliban is entering. Caliban, as wicked dew as my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both a southwest blow on ye and blister you all over. So here Caliban is cursing. Caliban is giving curse to Prospero. Why? Because Prospero is quite harsh and rude on Caliban. So that's why Caliban is just cursing Prospero. So here we can see that Caliban has no servility for Prospero. Caliban's character is in contrast to Ariel. Ariel is very submissive, obedient. Ariel is always ready to carry out the instructions, orders of Prospero. But Caliban is in contrast to Ariel. Caliban has no servility for Prospero. So here Caliban is speaking very harshly, very nastily, and Caliban is cursing. I hope you both get drenched with a dew as well as what my mother used to collect with a crow's feather from the poison swamps. May the harmful southwest wind blow on you and blister your entire body. So, this is the curse which is given by Caliban to Prospero and Miranda. Why? Because Caliban was, actually, Prospero was shouting over Caliban as he was not coming out and he was not carrying out instructions of Prospero. So that's why. And Caliban felt bad and starts cursing to Prospero and Miranda. Prospero, for this be sure tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up urchins, shall for that vast of night that they may work all exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees that made them. So Prospero grew angry again over Caliban. Why? Because Caliban starts cursing Prospero. So Prospero is not going to digest this thing at all. So Prospero is going to give, in return, right? So Prospero says that I will give you cramps for saying that. So Prospero felt bad what has been spoken by Caliban. So Prospero became very angry when Caliban cursed him and he said he will punish Caliban. So Prospero is saying that I will give you cramps for saying that. You horrible slave, right? I will be giving you pains in your sides that will keep you from breathing, right? I will send goblins out at night to work their nasty deeds on you. Every inch of you will be stung, and each sting will hurt more than bee stings. So Prospero says that I will give you cramps, and that cramps will create pains in your sides, and that pain will create difficulty in breathing. And then I will send goblins at night, and that goblins will just show their nasty deeds on you. Every inch of you will be stung, and each sting of goblins will hurt more than the stings of the bee. Caliban, I must eat my dinner, this island's mine. By Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me when thou camest first. Thou stokest me and madst much of me wouldst give me. Water with berries in it, teach me how to name the bigger light and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee and showed thee all the qualities over the island, the fresh springs, brine pits, barren place and fertile. Cursed be I that did so, all the charms. So here Prospero is Caliban is saying, I have a right to eat my dinner before I attend to your commands. So Caliban is complaining about what Prospero has done with him. So Caliban is saying, first of all, I will have my dinner before I attend to your commands. After all, this island is my property which I have inherited from my mother Sycorax. But you have taken it from me when you first got here. When you first arrived at this island, you petted me and you took care of me. You used to love me, you used to show affection for me, and you used to take care of me. You would give me water with berries in it, and you taught me the names for the sun and the moon, the big light and the smaller light. So the big light is sun and the smaller light is moon. So Caliban is saying that you taught me the names for the sun and the moon, the big light and the smaller light that burn in daytime and nighttime, right? I loved you back then. He says that, but I loved you back then. I showed you all the features of the island and the freshwater springs, the saltwater pits, the barren places, and the fertile ones. Each and everything I had shown you on this island, right? And then I curse myself for doing that. I wish I could use all the magic spells of Sycorax against you and torment you with toads, beetles, and bats. Right? So here Caliban says that I wish I could just torment you with toads, beetles, and bats, because at the time you were pretending to be nice to me. When you came on this island, I just mistook you for something good, but you just changed after that. You were just loving me. You used to take care of me. You used to teach me the names of the sun and the moon, the big light and the smaller light, and in return I just loved you back. I showed you all the features of this island, the fresh water springs, the salt water pit, the barren places, and the fertile ones. So, whatever I had done for you, now I curse myself for doing all that. I wish I could use all the magic spells of Sycorax against you and torment you with toads, beetles, and bats. And then Caliban says, which first was mine own king, and here you stay me in this hard rock, whilst you do keep from me the rest of the island. So Caliban says, I was at first the lord of myself, and now am your subject, and my single self makes up the total of your subjects. And here you confine me to this cave, and don't let me go anywhere else on the island. Caliban says, I was the king of this island before, and now I have become your slave. Now I have become your subject. You move around here and there, everywhere on this island, but you do not let me go anywhere else on the island. So, Caliban is coming up with grievances, grudges, complaints for what Prospero has done with him. So, Caliban is a very evil creature. He deserves this humiliation. Why? Because Caliban was very nice to Prospero was very nice to Caliban initially, and Prospero just shared his shack with Caliban. Means Prospero allowed Caliban to live with Prospero in his shack, in his cell. But one day, what did Caliban do? Caliban, made an attempt to do something wrong with Miranda, and it angered Prospero. So since then, Prospero, humiliates Caliban. Prospero shows humiliation for Caliban. So that's why Caliban deserves all that. Prospero, thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness. I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, abhorred slave, which any print of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or the other, when thou didst not, savage, know mine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known, but thy vile race, though thou didst learn, had that in which good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who had deserved more than a prison. So Prospero is saying that. So here, who is speaking? Prospero. Prospero is saying, you lying slave who responds only to whipping and not to kindness. Right? Prospero is saying that you are speaking lie. You are a liar. You always responds only to complaints, whipping, and not to the kindness. Right? So Prospero is saying that you are no better than filth, you are no better than dirt, and yet I have been treating you with human kindness. I have permitted you to live in my own cell till you went to the extent of trying to rape my young daughter, right? And actually Prospero says that I let you live in my own shack, and in return you made an attempt to rape my daughter. You made an attempt to do something shameful with my daughter. So that's why, and again Prospero says that you horrid slave, you who are completely resistant to any effort to make you good, and are instant capable of every evil things. Actually, I made an attempt to change you. I made an attempt to transform you. But you don't deserve anything, right? I pitied you. I feel pity for you. I made the effort to teach you to speak and taught you some new things nearly every hour. When you, savage, didn't know the meaning of the words you were speaking, and you would babble like some beast, when you used to babble like some beast and animals, I gave you words that would let you make your desires understood. But even though you learned, your evil nature made it so that people who were good could not stand to be with you. And so, just as you deserved, you were sent to live in this cave, which is a more suitable place for you to live than a prison would ever be. So, before, Caliban used to babble only. His words were gibberish. Caliban, Caliban actually used to speak like the language of beast, like the language of animals, right? So that's why Prospero is saying that I made my attempt to transform you. I made my attempt to change you good into a good person, right? But everything went in vain. It was of no avail, because you have your evil nature, and your evil nature made you so. People who are good could not stand to be with you, and you deserve in this cave, because this cave is more suitable place for you to live than a prison would ever be. Then Caliban is speaking. You taught me language, and my profit on is I know how to curse. The red plague rid you for learning me your language. So Prospero Caliban is saying again, you certainly taught me the use of language, but what I have gained from it is that I know how to curse. May you die of the plague for teaching me your language. So see the character of Caliban. Prospero has been very good for Caliban since beginning, when Prospero landed on this island. And Caliban is very evil creature. Caliban is very wicked. So Caliban is saying that you have taught me your language, and what I have learned how to curse only. May again Caliban starts cursing Prospero that may you die of the plague for teaching me your language. Prospero, hack seed hence, fetch us in fuel and be quick. thou best to answer other business? Shruggest thou malice, if thou neglectest or dost unwillingly what I command, I will rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee roar, that we shall tremble at thy din. So Prospero says, you son of a hag, get away. Bring us fuel inside and go away at once. It would be better for you to attend to other duties that I may require of you. Are you shrugging and making faces, you evil thing? If you neglect my orders or do them grudgingly, I will double you up with pains and cramps and make all your bones ache and make you scream so loud that the wild animals will shiver and tremble when they hear you. Prospero is very harsh, rude, angry. And why Prospero should not become angry? Caliban is doing unpleasant things which is provoking Prospero. So that's why Prospero is saying that you just get away and do all your work what I'm telling you to do. Otherwise, what I'll be doing, double up, I will double you up with pains and cramps and make all your bones ache. And it will it will make you scream so loud that the wild animals will be trembling when they hear you. Caliban, no, pray thee aside, I must obey. His art is of such power it would control my damned good set boss and make a vessel of him. So Caliban is saying that no, please, no, please. So Caliban is afraid now. Before Caliban was speaking very nastily, now Caliban is just talking very politely. Caliban is just afraid, frightened, right? So Caliban is saying that no, please, please, no, I have to obey. So now Caliban starts talking to himself, and Caliban says, I have to obey. I must obey his magic. Why? Because his magic is so powerful that he could even defeat Satabos, the god that my mother used to worship, and and his magic can make him into his servant, right? And then Prospero says, so slave hence exit Caliban. So Prospero says that go then, slave, go then. And then Caliban leaves. Ferdinand enters with Ariel, who is invisible and playing music and singing. So here, now who is entering? Ferdinand is entering with Ariel, right? And Ariel is just singing a song. Come unto these yellow sands and then take hands. Coursed when you have and kissed the wild waves whist, footed featly here and there, and sweet sprites the burthen bear. Spirits, hark hark, bow bow, the watchdogs bark, bow wow, Ariel, hark hark, I hear the strain of shrutting chanticleer, cry cocket diddle dow. So here so Ariel has been instructed to bring Ferdinand to that particular spot where Prospero and Miranda are there. And Ariel is singing song, and actually Prospero wishes Ferdinand and Miranda should fall in love with each other, and it will be a sweet revenge on Alonso, right? So Ariel is singing now. So a song is being sung by Ariel. So it is a way of invitation, right? Ariel is just inviting Ferdinand uh, through this song, and Ariel is singing, come to the sea shore covered with yellow sands, and then take hands. When you have greeted and kissed each other, the wild waves being hushed into silence, dance skillfully over this island. Let the sweet spirits take up the refrain of the song. And then other spirits join in chorus, and other spirits also started singing song with Ariel. Listen, listen, burden, dispersedly. Bow, wow, the watchdogs bark, burden. And then they disperse. And then again they sing, bow, wow. And again sings, listen, I hear the song of conceited cock, cry, cocker, cocker, diddle dow. So this is the song of Ariel, what Ariel is actually singing. Ferdinand, where should this music be? I, the air, or the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god over the island, sitting on a bank, weeping again the king my father's wreck. This music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion. With its sweet air, thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather, but 'tis gone. No, it begins again. So Ferdinand cannot see anyone. He is puzzled, confused, bemused. Ferdinand is in a state of confusion. Remember, Ferdinand jumped into sea firstly, so he reached on the shore first. As he was sitting on the shore and mourning over death of his father, that time this music crept over his ears, and it not only reducing his grief to some extent, but it also subdued the waves of the sea. So Ferdinand is saying, where is that music coming from? Ferdinand is unable to get that where is this music actually coming from the earth or the air. It has stopped now, it must be played, and Ferdinand is actually thinking that it must be played for some local god of the island. As I sat on the shore crying over my father's shipwreck, I heard the music creep over the wild waves, calming their fury and soothing my own grief with its sweet melodies, with its sweet sound. I followed it here, or I should say, it dragged me here. But now it has stopped. No, it has started up again. So Ariel was singing a song, and then Ariel stopped singing a song. So it was actually going on. So Ferdinand is saying that, yeah, this is the song what I heard on the shore of the sea, and this sweet song dragged me here, right? And then Ariel again sings, full fathom, five thy father lies. Of his bones are coral made, those are pearls that were his eyes. Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. Sea nymphs hourly ring his knell, burden within ding dong. Hark, now I hear them ding dong bell. Ariel is again singing a song. Ariel is misguiding Ferdinand. He is telling about his father actually. Your father lies far down in the depth of the sea. His bones are formed into coral. His eyes are now changed into pearls. Anything of him that decays goes, though a change wrought by the sea, and it turns into something precious and marvelous. Sea nymphs and then sea nymphs ring the bell every hour in the hour of his death. Right? So Ariel is actually giving wrong information to misguide Ferdinand, and right. So and then again spirits join in chorus, and other spirits also started singing a song. Hark, hark! I hear them ding dong bell. So again, so right, and then Ferdinand is speaking. The deity does remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth offs. I hear it now above me. So Ferdinand is saying that the song reminds me of my drowned father. It cannot come from a man, nor can it come from the earth. I hear it now above my head. Right, so Ferdinand is somehow recognizing this song and is able to get that where is the song coming from. So Ferdinand is actually, guessing that this sound is reminding me of my drowned father, and this song cannot come from a man, nor can come from the earth. I hear it now above my head. So Ferdinand is feeling that this song is being sung just above my head. So Ferdinand is just recognizing that this song is being sung just above my head. Prospero to Miranda, the fringed curtains of thine eye advance and say what thou seest yond. So now Ferdinand is just talking to his daughter Miranda. Prospero. Prospero is talking to his daughter Miranda. And Prospero says, raise your eyelids and tell me what you see over there in the distance. So, this is what Prospero wanted, and it is happening. Prospero asked Ariel, so you now just see that this is what Prospero whispers in the ears of Ariel. Prospero's plan was to bring Ferdinand here on the island, and Prospero wants both Ferdinand and Miranda should fall in love with each other, and it is going to be happened. Now Prospero asks Miranda, raise your eyelids and tell me what do you see over there in the distance. Miranda, the right, Miranda. What's that spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit. Miranda is amazed. What is it? Is it some spirit? Oh my God, I see it looking around with wonder. Believe me, sir, it is very good looking, but it must be a spirit. So Miranda, up till now, has seen only his old father and ugly Caliban. When she saw Ferdinand, she thought he must be a spirit. Miranda is in surprise. Miranda is full of wonder. Miranda is unable to believe. Over her eyes, whatever she is seeing is miracle, is wonder. So Miranda is very amazed and says that, is it some spirit? Oh my God, he is very good looking, he is very handsome, but it must be a spirit. So Miranda thinks that he is a spirit. Prospero. No wench, it eats and sleeps and has such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, but he is something stained. So Prospero says that no girl, it eats and sleeps and has the same five senses we do. The gentleman you see now was in the shipwreck, and if he were not a little spoiled by grief, which always ruins good looks, you could call him handsome. He has lost all his friends and is wandering around looking for them. So Prospero says that no, he is not a spirit, rather, he is a human like us, right? And if he had not been grief stricken, he would have looked more handsome. So because of the grief what he has, this grief is just messing up the appearance of this man, right? And further Prospero says that he has lost all his friends and he is wandering around looking for them. Miranda, I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble. So still Miranda is not convinced. Still Miranda thinks that he is not a human, rather he is a spirit. Rather he is a spirit, right? So Miranda says that I might describe him as a god because I have never seen anything on earth that looked so noble. So Miranda is very amazed to see Ferdinand, and Miranda is not believing actually that he is a human. Rather, Miranda is just thinking that he is a spirit. So Miranda is not convinced still. Prospero. Aside it goes on, I see, as my soul prompted. Spirit, fine spirit, I will free thee. So now, so Prospero is just talking to himself. It is all happening according to plan, just as my soul wanted it to happen. So this is what Prospero wanted, and Prospero is just talking to himself that, and Prospero is very happy that whatever Prospero wanted is happening now. So Prospero says that it is all happening according to my plan, just as my soul wanted, accordingly it is happening. And then Prospero starts talking to Ariel. Spirit, you find spirit. I will set you free in 2 days for doing such a good job here. Prospero is very happy, um, right? Because Ariel has done the very good job, and Prospero is saying that ki Ariel, my fine spirit, I will give you your freedom in 2 days because you have done a very good job. Ferdinand, most sure the goddess on whom these ear attend, vouchsafe my prayer, may know if you remain upon this island, and that you will some good instructions give how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, oh, you wonder if you be made or no. So Ferdinand is in amazement, confusion, right? And amazement or confusion on both sides. Miranda is not convinced. Miranda is considering Ferdinand a spirit, right? And then Ferdinand is seeing Miranda in the distance and is smitten with love at first sight. So both of them fall in love with each other at first sight, right? So Ferdinand is also amazed. Oh my god, in this god forsaken island, such a beautiful lady. She must be a goddess of the island. So Ferdinand is also thinking that she must be a goddess of the island. Definitely, this must be the goddess on whom the song attends. So Ferdinand thinks that this is the goddess on whom sweet music was being attended. It must be because of this goddess the music was played. And then Ferdinand says, "Accept my." Then Ferdinand says, that, accept my prayers." So Ferdinand is actually offering his prayer now. Ferdinand is so amazed and thinking that she must be a goddess. And then Ferdinand starts offering his prayer. And then Ferdinand says that, may I know if you are an inhabitant of the island? So Ferdinand says that, may I know who are you? You are an inhabitant of this island. And whether you will advise me how I should behave myself here. So Ferdinand is Miranda is very charming, pretty, beautiful. So Ferdinand is very amazed, and Ferdinand is asking that how he should behave actually. And Ferdinand further says that my most important question, which I have saved for last, is, oh, you wondrous thing, are you a girl or something else? Are you unmarried girl? Miranda, no wonder, sir, but certainly a maid. So Miranda says that I'm not a wonder, I'm not a wonderful person, sir, but I am surely a girl. I am definitely an unmarried girl. Ferdinand, my language heavens, I'm the best of them that speak this speech were I but where it is spoken. So Ferdinand says, oh my god, she speaks my language. Confusion and confusion. So Ferdinand, is in surprise and amazement once again. And Ferdinand says that, oh my God, she's speaking my language. She speaks my language. My God, I'm the highest ranking person who speaks this language. If only we were back where it is spoken. So most beautiful woman on this island. She's speaking my language. I'm the king of Naples, and I'm the greatest person in that place where this language is spoken. And then Prospero is speaking. How the best word wert thou if the king of Naples heard thee? So Prospero is saying that, and here Prospero is teasing Ferdinand. Prospero knows everything. He is pretending and said, how can you say you are the highest ranking person? So Prospero says, what is that? The highest ranking? What would happen to you if the king of Naples heard you say that? Ferdinand, a single thing as I am now, that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does, I weep. Myself am Naples. v- who with mine eyes ever since at bay beheld the king my father wrecked. So Ferdinand says that the same thing I am doing now as I stand here amazed to hear you mention Naples. So Ferdinand is saying that the same question is popping up in my mind, and the same thing is happening in my mind that I'm amazed to hear Naples from you. Right? I am full of wonder. I feel surprised to hear you talk of Naples. The king of Naples does hear me, and I weep because he hears me. I am king of Naples, with my own eyes shedding tears since the day I saw the king my father dying. So Ferdinand is saying that I am sad creature, I am solitary creature. Why? Because Ferdinand landed in this island alone. This right. So that's why Ferdinand is considering himself a solitary creature, and Ferdinand says that I am crying because I know my father can hear me. Right? Because I have seen my father dying. Right? Miranda, oh, how pitiful. So, alag for mercy. So, Miranda is just feeling sympathy for Ferdinand, and Miranda is just expressing her grief, concern that how pitiful, that's awful, how sad. Ferdinand, yes, faith and all his lord, the Duke of Milan, and his brave son being twain. Ferdinand is saying that yes, of course, I saw him and all his lords dying. So Ferdinand is saying that yes, I have seen my father dying and all his lords. The Duke of Milan and his brave son were among them. So here Ferdinand is considering himself the Duke of Milan and the brave son of Alonso. And then Prospero says, so actually Ferdinand is of the opinion that his father has died, right? And then Prospero speaks. Aside, the Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could control thee. If now 'twere fit to do it at the first sight, they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I will set thee for free for this to Ferdinand. A word, good sir, I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word. So Prospero is speaking to himself now. The real Duke of Milan and his far finer daughter could control you if it were the right time. They have fallen in love at first sight. Wonderful Ariel, I will set you free for doing such good work here. So Ferdinand is so Prospero is very happy, and everything happened according to the Prospero's plan. And Prospero's and also Prospero says that, oh, you are the real Duke of Milan. Actually, you do not know who is the real Duke of Milan. The real Duke of Milan, it is far finer daughter could control you if it had been the right time. And then Ferdinand starts talking to and then Prospero starts talking to Ferdinand. Good sir, may I speak with you? I want to have a word with you. I am afraid that you have done an injustice to yourself by claiming to be the king of Naples. Let me therefore have a word with you. So Prospero heard Ferdinand speaking that he is the Duke of Milan. So that's why, in that context, in regards to that, Prospero says that I want to have a word with you. Miranda, why speaks my father so urgently? This is the third man that ever I saw, the first that ever I sighed for. Pity move my father to be inclined my way. And then Miranda is just talking to herself that actually she doesn't want Prospero should be rude to Ferdinand. And Miranda says that why is my father speaking to him so rudely? Miranda is actually wondering, and Miranda is unable to understand that it's been a while since Ferdinand came here, and my father is becoming very rude with Ferdinand. What is the reason behind it? This is the third man I have ever seen in my life, and the first one I have felt romantic feelings for. I hope my father is compassionate enough to me that he wants for me what I want for myself. Ferdinand, Oh, if a virgin and your affection not gone forth, I will make you the queen of Naples. Then Ferdinand says that, oh, if you are a virgin and if you haven't given your heart to another man, then I will make you the queen of Naples. Prospero. And then Prospero. Soft, sir, one word more aside. They are both in either's power, but this swift business. I must uneasy, make less to light to winning, make the prize light to Ferdinand. One word more I change thee, that thou attend me, thou dost here usurp the name thou owest, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy to win it from me, the Lord on it. So Ferdinand says that Prospero says that, have patience, sir. Let me have one word with you. And Prospero starts talking to himself that they are both in love, but I need to cause a little trouble between them, or else they will never appreciate the value of their love. So Prospero is actually pretending to be angry, and he is deliberately provoking Ferdinand. So Prospero knows each and everything. It was Prospero's plan that Ferdinand is here, and Prospero wanted Ferdinand and Miranda should fall in love with each other. So that's why both of them are getting closer to each other. But Prospero is just creating a trouble between them. Why? Because Prospero wants both of them to appreciate their love. Prospero doesn't want to make it easier for Ferdinand to get Miranda in his life. So that's why Prospero wants to create, hang-ups for Ferdinand, so that both of them must appreciate their love, right? And then Prospero starts talking to Ferdinand. I need a word with you, sir. I order you to listen to me. You are calling yourself by a name that doesn't belong to you. So before this, Ferdinand called himself Duke of Milan. So it provoked Prospero genuinely. Prospero is not angry. Prospero is just pretending to be angry. But Prospero is just teasing Ferdinand. So that's why Prospero says that you are calling yourself by a name that doesn't belong to you. You have come onto this island as a spy to snatch this island away from me. I am the rightful lord of it. So Prospero is blaming Ferdinand that Ferdinand is a spy. Ferdinand has come on this island to snatch island from Prospero, and Prospero is the rightful lord of this island, right? And then Ferdinand, no, as I am a man. So Ferdinand says that, no, I swear it is not like that what you are actually thinking. I'm not a spy. I haven't come on this island with this intention. Nothing is evil in my heart. So, no, I swear it's not true. Miranda, there's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell within. So Miranda is saying that nothing evil can ever exist in a body this attractive. So Miranda feels that he cannot be evil. A man as handsome as that can't have anything evil in him. If the devil had such a beautiful house as his body, then good things would fight to live in it. So, this is the feeling of Miranda for Ferdinand. So, it reveals that Miranda is in love with Ferdinand. Both of them have fallen in love with each other at first sight. So, Miranda started defending Ferdinand. Miranda started taking side of Ferdinand, right? And now Prospero is speaking to Ferdinand. Follow me, speak not for him, he is a traitor. Come, I will manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots and husks, wherein the acorn cradled follow. So Prospero say, no, I will. So Prospero is now talking to Ferdinand that follow me. And then he turns to Miranda and says, do not speak to me on his behalf. So here Prospero is again pretending to be angry over Miranda, his daughter, And Prospero says that, do not speak to me on his behalf. He is a deceitful man. And then he turns to Ferdinand. Come with me, otherwise I will tie your neck and your feet together with a chain, and you will, and, and then what will happen? You will get only sea water to drink, and as for food, you will be given shellfish caught from streams of fresh water, dried roots, and husks of the fruit called acorn. Follow me, right? And then Ferdinand says, no, I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power, draws, and is charmed from moving. So Ferdinand says that, no, I will not let it to be happened. I will resist such treatment until my enemy overpowers me. And then Ferdinand takes out his sword, but Prospero casts a spell on him that stops him from moving. Miranda, oh dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he is gentle and not fearful. So, Miranda knows Ferdinand a little bit only. It's been 2 3 minutes or 10 minutes since she met him, and she is taking his side. And Miranda is requesting her father that, oh my dear father, don't judge him too quickly. He is a good man and brave too. Prospero, what I say, my foot, my tutor, put thy sword up, traitor, who marks the show, but does not strike thy conscience. So Prospero is just, Prospero is just provoking Ferdinand again and again, right? And Prospero is challenging Ferdinand that, and first of all, here Prospero is just speaking to Miranda that, what did you say? Prospero is becoming angry on Miranda, and Prospero says that, you are one of my dependents. Do you dare to teach me how I should behave? So again, Prospero is pretending to be angry only on Miranda. Genuinely, he is not angry. He is just teasing Ferdinand. He is just creating the trouble between Ferdinand and Miranda. Why? Because in this way, both of them will appreciate their love. Otherwise, if Ferdinand is if Ferdinand gets Miranda so easily, then both of them will take their love for granted. Both of them will not appreciate their love. So Prospero's plan was to make them realize the importance of the true love. So that's why Prospero is creating the hang-ups between Ferdinand and Miranda. And then Prospero starts talking to Ferdinand very angrily, and Prospero is just challenging Ferdinand that, raise your sword, you deceitful man. You are able to make show of your sword, but you do not have courage to attack me with this sword because you feel too guilty with a sense of your guilt. Get out of defensive position, because I can disarm you with magic wand and make your sword drop. Miranda, beseech you, father. So Miranda say that, I request you, father, not to be angry with him. So again and again, Miranda is defending Ferdinand and requesting Prospero not to behave so badly with Ferdinand. Prospero, hence hang not on my garments. So Prospero says to Miranda, get away, don't grab my clothes. Actually, Miranda is grabbing clothes of Prospero and making Prospero understand that, be polite, kind, good to Ferdinand. But actually, whatever is happening is the plan of Prospero. It is Prospero's plan, that whatever is happening, it is what actually Prospero wanted it to be happen. That's why it is happening. So Prospero knows each and everything. So Prospero is actually teasing both of them. Prospero is pretending to be very harsh, cruel, angry on Ferdinand and Miranda, because the real plan of Prospero just to create that issues, hang-ups between them, so that both of them must appreciate their love. Otherwise, it would have been very easy for Ferdinand to get Miranda in his life, and this is what Prospero do not want it to be happened. So that's why everything is happening, and Prospero is aware of it, right? And then Miranda says, and here Miranda says that, Sir, have pity, I will be his surety. So Miranda says, the father, take pity on him, feel pity on him. I will be the guarantee of his goodness. So Miranda says that he is a good man. If you do not believe over him, I am ready to be the guarantee of his goodness. Prospero. Silence one word more shall make me child thee, if not hate thee. What? An advocate for impostor? Hush! Thou think there is no more such shapes as he, having seen but him and Caliban. Foolish wench, to the most of men this is Caliban, and they to him are angels. So Prospero says that, silence. If you say another word, I will scold you, maybe even hate you. What you are taking the side of an impostor. Be quiet. You think no one else is beautiful as him because you have seen only him and Caliban. So Prospero is again pretending to be angry, harsh, and actually Prospero is just enjoying this game. Prospero knows each and everything very well, right? So Prospero is actually teasing both of them, right? So Prospero is saying, stop taking side of Ferdinand. You think that he is the most handsome man. Why? Because you have seen only him and Caliban, so that's why you consider him the most handsome man and you are highly attracted to him, right? And then Miranda says, my affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man. So Miranda says that my love is humble, my love is very true. I have no desire to see a more handsome man than this one. Prospero says to Ferdinand, come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again and have no vigor in them. And then again, Prospero, you know, gives challenge to Ferdinand that, come on, obey my orders. Your your muscles are like those of a baby without strength or energy. So again, Prospero is just giving challenge. Prospero is again provoking Ferdinand that, come on, obey my order. Your muscles are like those of a baby without strength or energy. Ferdinand. And Ferdinand says, so they are, my spirit as in a dream are all bound up. My father's laws, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats, to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid, all corner else over the earth let liberty make use of, space enough have I in such a prison. Ferdinand says that, yeah, this is very true. They are. My strength is all gone as if in a dream. The death of my father, my physical weakness, the loss of all my friends, the threats of this man who has captured me would be like nothing to me. If only I could look through my prison windows once a day and see the girl. I don't need any more freedom than that. A prison like that would give me enough liberty. So Ferdinand says that, yeah, my muscles are like those of a baby. It is very true because I have lost all my strength as if in a dream it happened. And why it happened is because of the death of my father, my physical weakness, the loss of all my friends, the threats of this man who has taken me prisoner. All that would be easy for me to take if only I could look through my prison windows once a day and see the girl. So Ferdinand is saying that I'm ready to just go behind the bar if I get chance to see this beautiful girl, beautiful woman, right? So Ferdinand is saying that yes, I am just very weak, my muscles are very weak, I have lost all my strength, right? And Ferdinand is saying that if I am just sent in prison, but if I get a chance to have a look to this beautiful girl, to this beautiful lady, then nothing makes a difference to me. It doesn't matter to me. I don't need any more freedom than that. A prison like that would give me enough liberty. And then Prospero sighed works to Ferdinand. Come on, thou hast done well. Fine Ariel to Ferdinand, follow me. To Ariel, hark, what thou else shalt do me. So Prospero is now speaking to himself that it is working. So Prospero saw that his plan is becoming successful. Whatever he wanted actually is working. And then Prospero turns to Ferdinand. Come on. And then again he starts speaking to himself. You have done well, Ariel. And then he turns to Ferdinand. Follow me. And then he just starts speaking to Ariel. Listen to what you will do next for me. And then he just starts giving order instructions to Ariel that now what do you have to do? Miranda, be of comfort. My father is of a better nature, sir. Then he appears by speech. This is unwanted which now came from him. Miranda is speaking to Ferdinand that don't worry, my father is kinder than his words. Um, right? My father is kinder than his words. Just now make him sound. What he said did not sound like him at all. So Miranda means to say that whatever you have seen, my father and the way my father has behaved with you is not actually true. My father is just opposite of what you have seen, right? Prospero to Ariel. Thou shalt be as free as mountain winds, but then exactly do all points of my command. And then Prospero says to Ariel, you will be free as a bird, but you have to do exactly what I order. Prospero says that Ariel, you will get your freedom very soon, and I will free you as a bird. But before that, you have to do one more thing for me. Ariel, to the syllable. Ariel says that I will do in the smallest detail. I will do every little thing for you. Prospero. Come follow, speak not for him, exeunt. And then Prospero says to Ferdinand that, come follow me. And then Prospero turns to Miranda. Don't take his side, don't defend him. And then they leave. So students, Act 1 Scene 2 has ended up now. And what we have learnt in this entire act that Prospero's tale to Miranda, the introduction of Ariel and Caliban, and initial meeting of Ferdinand and Miranda. This is what we have witnessed and experienced in this story, right? So these three things have happened, and Prospero's plan came to success, right? It did not turn into fiasco and debacle. Rather, it got successful, right? So in this way this act ends up, right? So I hope so you all have comprehended the entire act 1 scene 2, right? And please, I request you all to subscribe my YouTube channel. I am not as bad as you think, right? Because I believe in myself that I have been able to explain this act in a comprehensive manner. So for that, please subscribe my YouTube channel. It is a humble request. Take care of yourself, everybody.